God, I'm even getting emotional just going back to last year when things really just blew up for me. I just need women to know that you don't have to keep going and pushing as you're suffering until something really big happens, like burnout, or something huge happens to make you stop. You can start listening to your body now, and those symptoms, those things that you're feeling that you brush off and go, oh well, I'm 40, this is expected. No, that is your body telling you, hey, listen to me, you need to come home to me.
Welcome back to the Rubasha Family Podcast. We're here for another special episode. I have the one and only Wambui. She's here to tell her story. You guys have seen her so many times, and she's someone who's always had a passion for what she does, always had a joy to express herself, and she is a co-author in a very powerful book, from being an entrepreneur, being in the corporate world, in a powerful book called From Corporate to Calling, which is really about living in your purpose. And there's no one better to speak about that, because you've always been someone who's come from a corporate experience, and now again, always, how can you live in that purpose? So really happy to have you back as a repeated guest and to talk a little bit about your book. So yeah, welcome.
Thank you so much, Sugira. I am honored to be back on this platform with you.
Thank you so much. So in this chat, I want this to be very educational for the 30 minutes that we have here, for people to be inspired. I think it's a great also time, because it's a great time where people don't get too out of, whack, but they're very focused in what you have to say. So I wanted to start with your story. Can you share a little bit about who you are and what called you even to be a co-author? Obviously, we'll get to your chapter, but yeah, can you tell us a little bit about you before we go into the book?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Wambo. I am a women's health and wellness coach. My background is 20 years in personal injury and rehabilitation. And following a moment sometime last year, I was then, there was like a close of a door sometime last year in my corporate world, which then opened this new world for me and, got me diving right into what I call now my purpose. Yeah.
I love that. And it's quite powerful, because this is extremely powerful, because there's so many people in this situation, mothers, so many people who they've worked that corporate job, and then, now it's like, okay, but I want to live in my calling and my purpose. And usually it's something that happens to cause that to happen.
My chapter is called From Abandonment to Empowerment: How Finding My Health Led to My Power.
Wow, that's okay. Wow, that's
Yes.
a big name. That's a lot. So can you talk to us a little bit about it? What led you to write that chapter?
Yes, sure. So, well, I was inspired by what really I didn't know was happening at the moment, at the time. So I was, in my corporate job, doing really well, feeling successful. I knew everything about my job, but something within felt out of touch, disconnected. Yeah. However, I ignored that part because, I kept telling myself, no, Wambui, look at you. You have a stable job. You have a beautiful paycheck coming in. There's all these responsibilities that because of your job, you're able to honor. So I just shut down all those things that I was feeling. And these things, they presented to me as symptoms. I felt exhausted. I felt, I had brain fog. I wasn't sleeping well. I felt really disconnected in my job. Like I would be in the office in a meeting, and people were really like, participating, feeling like this is my space. But as much as we were talking about important issues, for me, I just kept feeling like this can't be it for me. Really, this cannot be it for me. So it was not until something happened last year, it was about mid last year, that pushed me from that space. And then suddenly I began to listen to my body. Because when I was pushed from that space, all these things that had been happening to me initially just picked everything that was, the emotions were heavy. It was a really difficult time. I wasn't, everything just heightened. And then it was at that time that I had to come back to me. I had to listen to my body and start making choices to, whatever those symptoms I was going through, I had to make choices that would help me heal from those things. So, for example, I wasn't sleeping well. So I had to dive deep into me and find ways to make me sleep well. I had, bloating. I had, exhaustion. I had to dive deep into me and start finding solutions. Oh, okay. What can I eat? How can I eat? When can I eat? What do I need to do? Movement, all these things. So it was me making little choices
Mm,
to come back to me. And
mm,
those little things that I did made me find myself in a place where I was thriving. I was like, oh my God, I'm so energized. I feel awesome. Oh my, like, I just feel amazing. I feel amazing. And it was through that what Boys for Health was born. I felt like an obligation to women because I know so many women who are successful. They are thriving, in their corporate jobs, in, whatever they do. But deep inside, they are suffering and they don't need to suffer.
mm,
That suffering, those symptoms that they feel, that is their body asking them to listen and do something about those things. So
mm,
that is what Boys for Health is about. That is what I coach women toward. So I coach women to listen to themselves, to make little choices that will get them back to health and wellness.
mm. Amazing. And what do you think was causing some of those issues you were going through, and what was the complete breaking point for you to be like, wait a minute, this has to stop?
I would say it was disconnection. It's that thing that a lot of us have about, you know, especially women, about being there for everybody. I must be there for my family and,
Mm, mm, mm,
absolutely
mhm,
serve them. I must be there in the office, in my job, and absolutely serve in that space. And we forget to serve ourselves.
mm,
And without serving me, I can't really give. I can't serve from a cup that is empty. I need to fill my cup so that I can serve others. And for
mm,
me, being in that space where I felt disconnected
mhm.
was me serving from an emptiness. Like it was just eating up so much of my energy.
Energy.
And as much as I did not have that energy, I still kept serving and kept going. And as I did that, it was me that was punishing myself. I wasn't serving
Mm,
me.
mhm. That's incredibly powerful, and sometimes it's a lot of those moments that spark that change for you to be able to go in and also impact people, which is what you're doing now. So what inspired you now not only to do what you do, create a business and do all these things, but what inspired you to have this particular story or message, and like why does it feel important for you to share this now, like in a book, right? Because that's quite powerful.
What inspired me to share this? First of all, let me say this opportunity came to me. I had no plans to do this, and I was
Hmm.
tapped on the shoulder, and someone said, "Hey, Wambui, would you be interested? Because your story needs to be heard." And I was like, "Wow, of course my story needs to be heard." And I also thought, out of obligation, I need to put my story out there so that it can inspire others, right? And as well as put me out there to be of service to a woman that needs to hear this, that needs help in coming back to herself, that needs help to regaining her health, her wellness, to regaining her purpose, to feeling like she is living authentically like who she really is meant to be. Yeah. Basically, not selling her soul.
Not selling. Wow. Wow. And that's the thing, like every story has a moment that changes us. So, like, can you also talk a little bit about a personal experience or truth that you discovered while writing that surprised or transformed you?
Yeah. You know what? When I was writing, I
Mm-hmm.
realized how far I had come.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was in the deep of of the deepest dip, I didn't realize I was in that deep. And it was
Mm-hmm.
only after I had made these changes in my life and started to feel amazing and feel great with the benefit of hindsight while I was writing, because I was forced to do that. We did this exercise. Oh my God, that taught me so much about myself. It's called Voids to Values exercise. And that taught me so much about me. I was able to identify voids in my early childhood that made me who I am today, that created my values, that created my personality, that created my strength, that even made me so passionate about health, because I've always been passionate about health. And those dots were only joined after I did that voids to values exercise. So, as I was writing, I realized how far I had come and how it didn't happen overnight. And I just need women to know that you don't have to keep going and pushing as you're suffering until something really big happens, like burnout, or something huge happens to make you stop. You can start listening to your body now, and those symptoms, those things that you're feeling, that you brush off and go, oh well, I'm 40, this is expected. No, that is your body telling you, hey, listen to me, you need to come home to me, you need to do something so that we can start thriving again. It's possible. So that's the reason I'm writing the book. And it's from writing the book that I realized I had actually made those massive, massive wins. Yeah.
You said you've always been passionate about health. Where do you think that's come from?
Wow. So when I did the voids to values exercise, so the topic of my book is from abandonment to empowerment. And then it's, finding my health and my power, right? All those things are, it's descriptive of what my chapter is about. So I found my voids came from abandonment as a young child. Not to give too much about my chapter, but I went to boarding school. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, I didn't realize that my whole person
Mm-hmm.
saw that, or felt that was an abandonment. And from that, developed coping mechanisms, which grew into what I am today. My personality, everybody who knows me tells me, Wambo, you are so self-reliant. You are so what do people tell me? Like they tell me, like anytime I have something happen to me, negative,
Mm-hmm.
anybody, all my friends, all my family, even, they tell me, oh, boy, you know what? But it's you. You'll come out on top. I never give up. I keep going. And every door that closes for me is always an opening to another door. And that I found came from my void, which was that abandonment. So I grew this strength, and it is this strength that makes me who I am today. So the health, passion for health, is from that abandonment. When I was in boarding school, I would do certain things that are very tied to health and wellness now, to try and be heard, to try and be seen, to try and not be in that abandoned space. And that is all in my chapter. And again, that was me in boarding school as a little girl, trying to be seen, trying to be heard. And now, as a grown woman, I'm teaching women to see themselves, because all these symptoms that are presenting are things that are telling them, hey, see me, stop ignoring me. I'm talking to you, Wamboy. I'm talking to you, Mary, Jane, whoever. Listen to me. These voices, if you honor, if you listen to those symptoms, you will come out on top. Because it's not your body failing you, it's your body calling you to come back to yourself.
Wow. And like you just said it there, like you came from abandonment to the one teaching people to see themselves, because it's you, everything is with you. We look for all these things that are outside of ourselves, even food and work and all these things, but like it's like when you're tapped in with yourself, you're able to listen to yourself, which is what you're saying. So how was that moment, like, just aside all things, for you to be like, wow, look how far I've come? I think you just said it there earlier. Like, how was that feeling for you to, it's we're always on the move and we don't get to reflect on how far we've come. So how was that feeling for you?
Yeah, for me, God, I'm even getting emotional just going back to last year when things really just blew up for me. I felt like I was in such a deep hole. And when I look at myself today, I cannot believe this is me, because it was so, so hard. But I'm glad everything happened, because everything has put me in the place that I am today. And I am so happy with my life right now, with what I'm doing. It's been very hard. But definitely I had outgrown that corporate life, and everything that I was feeling about being in that space was my body telling me, Wambui, come on, this is not your space right now. You've outgrown it. And I ignored it. And so many things happened in that space, from, oh my God, really, really negative experiences in a corporate job, in an office. And yes, so it was my body telling me I wasn't listening. All these things were happening. I was just ignoring everything and acting like a superwoman. I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. And then one day the universe said, hey, enough,
Enough
move,
is enough.
move. And I moved unwillingly. But hey, looking back now, I'm like, thank you, Lord. Thank you. Because as much as it's been a very difficult journey, I am so happy to look back and see how far I have come. And I know I'm going way farther, way farther. And that space that I was in, it was too small for me.
Too small. And what is a lot of the barriers you think for a lot of, let's say, mothers out there when it comes to going from corporate to calling? Why? I mean, of course, financial, and we wouldn't just tell someone to quit their job right away, and of course things take time.
Yeah.
Some people are forced into that situation, some people no, this is maybe not the smartest situation, but still, in saying that, too many people get too comfortable working 10 years, you're not happy, you're going through a lot of the issues that you've talked about. What do you think is the number one hesitation?
Ah, comfort. It's
Mm,
very comfortable.
comfortable, yeah.
It's very comfortable. And mind you, corporate to calling isn't about leaving your corporate job. It's about
Hmm.
listening to yourself and doing what is aligned with you.
I love
There
it.
are many people who work corporate jobs and they're super aligned. Yeah. It's not about leaving your corporate job. It's about listening to you and doing what is in alignment for you. So there's a lot of comfort, there's responsibilities, there's fear of the unknown, too many things. And fear, like when you act from a place of fear, you'll never achieve anything, because everything that is unknown it's scary. Like, but I mean, you need to make a move to know whether it's gonna be your biggest moment yet, you know?
Mm-hmm. And I love what you just said there, because it's true. Like, that there's this thing called entrepreneur and intrapreneur. Entrepreneur is obviously the one who creates the business. The intrapreneur is the one who, you're not taking all the risk. It's not, you're not putting up all the money, but you still have that calling. You are still working within a company, within someone's business, maybe owning your department. You're being creative. So really, like, corporate to calling, it's not just, people wanting to leave. No, you can go and be an entrepreneur in a company and thrive because you're living in your calling, especially if it's good management. You're being creative, you're bringing up ideas, da, da, da. And a lot of people become more wealthy than actual owning everything.
That's right. That's right. Corporate to calling is about listening to you and doing what is in alignment with you. And for me, alignment with me, everything kept pulling me to health. I just can't help myself when I'm in spaces. I can't help myself but start talking about health and wellness. I can't. I've done that for years and years and years. So me, for me, it was easy because I knew what my calling was. And it's not that easy for a lot of people. However, I think if you even did that void to values exercise, that is just the beginning of starting to be aware. Yeah. So yeah.
And just like, also before I ask you about a piece of advice, can you talk about this thing of voice to value? What is that? You've mentioned it a few times.
It's an exercise that we did uh, right at the beginning of this project, the book project, because a lot of us came to the table. I mean, there are a lot of co-authors there that are doing big things. They're very established, but there were also people who were beginners, right? And with a lot of beginners, even with me, I was just like, I don't know whether I have a story to share. And we did that voids to values exercise, and suddenly my theme came out. And it was after my theme came out, just went writing and writing, and I could not stop. It just kept flowing. So it's like you go into your subconscious, and then you get your message. Yeah, it was kind of like a
And then,
guided meditation.
oh, okay. I like that. No, yeah, because I was like, wow, sounds very interesting. And if you could leave our listeners, because I think you've added such great value, but even just seeing how real it was, right, for you to get emotional, is because it's coming from a real place. This is not just no, like this comes. What you see is what you get. That's what I love. When we're on social media, what you see is what you get. When we don't fake this stuff, so to see the way you had that emotional reaction was the passion that you have. And like you just said earlier, just then, you can talk about this stuff all day, all night, all long, is because it's your calling. So if you could leave our listeners with just one sentence of truth, a reminder or encouragement, I mean, you've done so much already, even just before how you said it's okay to listen to you, because once you listen to you, everything aligns. So in saying all that, what's another piece of amazing advice you'd love to leave our audience before they go out and check your book?
For me, I think it will be, you don't have to healing. So healing yourself and coming back to yourself is not about a drastic move. It's about little changes that you make every day and make them consistent. Because once you make something consistent, it becomes habits, right? It becomes the norm for you to do those things. And it's when you start making choices that are aligned with your healing, and they become consistent things that you do, that you heal. You heal without knowing. Just like I was saying, for me, now I look back and I can't believe this is me now, because I feel amazing. Like, a lot of women in their 40s are just like, oh my God, this is, like I feel I'm so tired, I want to have a nap, or, like a brain, all these things. But to be honest, Sugira, for me, I feel like this is the best time of my life. I feel amazing. I feel great, right? It wasn't like this a year ago. So it's been things that I have done consistently for the last year that have got me to today. So that is what I would say to women. On my webpage, waboysforhealth.com, I've got a free questionnaire. It's a from coping to thriving questionnaire. It takes 2 to 3 minutes. Any woman can go in there. It's a free questionnaire. Fill it out. It'll give you your results, right? And those results will be the first step to your healing because it gives you awareness. It tells you what areas you need to start working on. Yeah. So that is what I would say. Listen to your body. Start making little changes today. Yeah. And be consistent. Keep doing it. And before you know it, you will look back and go, wait a minute. How am I, whatever it is that you was struggling with, how am I not struggling with that anymore? It just happens. And it happens when you listen and you respond. Yeah.
When you listen and respond, I think we can end it on that note. Thank you so much for being so vulnerable and open to share your story. And victory goes to the vulnerable. So when will the book be released, and how can these amazing people who are watching and listening to this get it?
So the book launch is on the 21st of November 2025. It's an international book, so it's launching in Australia first, and then over the different time zones. So if you're in the US, you can join our launch party on the 20th, right? Because that will be 21st here. And then 36 hours, we'll have 2 launch parties, and we'll have a very special price for our book for the first 36 hours of the launch. And I'll be sharing the launch party Eventbrite link, as well as the link to purchase the book once it's launched.
If
so
you'll...
it'll be open to the... Sorry?
No. I was just saying, you'll share that with me so I can, we share it.
So for 36 hours, you'll be able to purchase the book for a really special price. And I think that's $1.88 in Australia, AUD. So convert it to your own currency. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on and just doing what you
and that's
usually
on Amazon,
do.
by the way. I will share the link anyway.
Thank you so much for being so amazing and gracious with your time to come in here and spread love, joy, and positivity to the world. They'll be able to, get all the details in the description below. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sugira. It's always amazing.
We always kill it when we do this, huh?
we
always do it. In person or virtual, we just look, yeah. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Marketing is all about storytelling. Dad, when we first started this business, what did you say to me?
I said, yes, we do a podcast.
Why?
Because I want to tell our story.
Why?
Because I know the story builds a legacy.
Builds a legacy. And that is exactly what we do here at ETS Rubasha Media. We market your story on social media so you could build a legacy for those who come after you, to build your business and your personal brand.
Yeah, follow us on our platform. Go on our website, etsrubashamedia.com.
This is about legacy, and it is about showing up on social media every single day, because if you don't show up, your competition will.
If you really enjoyed this video, make sure to click here, and I'm sure you're going to love that one.